Hello class, today we will start with the chapter Weathering, which is chapter number 9 in your book. First, we will discuss about the definition of weathering. What is weathering? It is a process which involves loosening, disintegration and decomposition of the rock at or near the earth's surface. This is what is weathering. Next, we will see that what are the factors which are responsible for weathering. The factors which are responsible are the type of rock. If it is soft rocks, then it will be more prone to weathering than if it is a hard rock. The next is the climatic condition. What can you say about the climatic condition? If it is a dry and an arid climatic condition or a wet condition, depending on that climatic condition, weathering will differ. The type of vegetation is also a very important factor because it leads to biological weathering, which will lead in the later part of the chapter. Next is the slope of the land. The slope of the land, we all know if the land is very steep, weathering will be more than if the slope is little bit gentle. The fifth point is exposure to the sun. The more the side of the rock is more exposed to sun or the wind, that part or that portion will be more prone to weathering as compared to the part which is away from exposure. Next, what we are seeing, that all this weathering, why it is occurring, who is responsible for this weathering, which are the agents there are certain agents which is leading to weathering, and which are those agents? Like the agents of weathering are water, wind, ice, plant, animal, people, and also chemicals, which are responsible for eroding, degrading, and in fact decomposing the rock. Next, we are coming that is there any difference between weathering and erosion? Yes, of course there is a difference. What is the difference? Weathering occurs in a static position. That is weathering, that is the like a decomposition or breaking of the rock, all is occurring in a static position. Okay, these are all occurring in static position. But when there is a movement involved, it is leading to erosion. That is, the rocks are breaking down into size in their original place where they have been formed is known as weathering. When they are transported, that is a movement is involved, it is known as erosion. And when they are deposited, they are known as, like in the form of sediments, it is known as deposition. So weathering followed by erosion and then finally deposition. Next, we will study about the different types of weathering which is there. The first weathering which you are seeing here written is the physical weathering, which is also known as the mechanical weathering. Okay, it is also known as the mechanical weathering. Because why it is known as the mechanical weathering? Because here what you are seeing, the rocks are disintegrated. That is, they are broken into size. Disintegration of the rocks, that is, from a larger rocks, it is forming a smaller rocks. Physically, their rocks are reducing in size. But what is chemical weathering? Chemical weathering lead to the decomposition of the rock. Okay, so what we are seeing, the chemical composition of the rocks, like we all know that rocks is an aggregate of minerals. So when the mineral composition itself changes, it leads to chemical weathering. And biological weathering is what? When we see that some weathering which is related to organic weathering is known as, that is, plant, animals and human beings are involved, it is known as biological weathering. Next, today we will study about the physical weathering, where we will see that block disintegration, granular disintegration and exfoliation, and all these weatherings is occurring because of temperature differences. Let's study about each of the part. First, we are seeing the picture of block and granular disintegration. Now, what is this? What is the block disintegration? Often question comes that what is the difference between block and granular disintegration? So, in the arid region, what you see, the difference between the day and night temperature is very high, okay? And so, during the daytime, the bare rocks are heated and their outer layer expand. And then what happens during the night time when the temperature finally falls? Okay, so the amount of expansion and contraction of the rock is not the same. Okay, this leads to the development of cracks and fissures on the surface of the rock, and over a period of time you can see the picture that is from the main mass of rocks. It is just coming out in the forms of blocks and in the forms of triangulated blocks, and this is known as block disintegration. But in case of granular disintegration, we know that the rocks is made up of various mineral composition. So the rocks are also, they expand and contracts at different rates because rocks is an aggregate of minerals which is consisting of different minerals, as a result of which what happen, a series of joints and cracks you will see on the outer layer of the rocks are developing. So the rocks are broken into pieces and fragments. In fact, they are broken into angular fragment, and this is known as granular disintegration. So just remember, this is very important, that what is the difference between block disintegration and granular disintegration. Another interesting feature, you can see it from the diagram, that from the outer layer of the rocks is coming out as if we are seeing a peeling of onion. Okay, so what is it? It is actually exfoliation. Peeling or flakes are coming out from the main mass of the rock. Okay, the outer layer is coming out. You can see the picture. So the rock mass, you can see the 4 diagram. The rock mass are generally poor conductor of heat. So the outer mass, okay, it expands, and then at the night it's contracts. So the outer layer expand more than the inner layer because it is exposed more. Okay, and this can completely loosen the outer layer from the main mass of rock, and in due course of time you will see that the outer loosened layer is coming off in the form of peel. Means it is just peeling off from the main mass of rock. Okay, in a form of peeling off of the rock from the main rock mass is seen in the form of thin shells, you can say. And this special type of weathering is known as exfoliation. Okay, next we will see the action of the frost. See how the rocks is breaking up from the main mass. You can see the picture. Now frost action is also known as the freeze-thaw effect. The freeze-thaw effect. I will tell you what happened here. What happens here is that frost is a very active agent of weathering in the cold and in the high latitude, okay, or in the high altitude. So the cracks and the joints of the rocks are filled with water during the daytime. And what happened? This water is frozen at night when the temperature falls below the freezing point. And you know that when the temperature will fall below the freezing point, the water will turn into ice, and ice needs much more space than the water, because the volume of the ice is more than that of the water. Okay, this increase in volume will exert a bursting pressure. You will see that when the temperature is decreasing, this water is changing into ice, and the bursting pressure you can see on the adjacent side. So what happened? So this pressure you are seeing on the adjacent side, so the cracks gets wider. The next day what happened? When the cracks get wider, more water can enter into the widened cracks, and more pressure will be exerted on the rocks when the water freezes the next night. And this alternative, like freezing and melting, is known as the freeze-thaw effect. And finally, because of this constant widening of the crack, it will finally break down and fall from the main mass of rock. You can see the picture here that this rock has broken down from the main mass of rock. Now, if we recap what we have studied that what is weathering? Weathering is the disintegration and decomposition of rock, but it is a static event, and when it is accompanied by movement by the various agents of denudation, it is known as erosion. And then we have studied about the mechanical or physical weathering, where the size or the physically we will see the rocks is breaking down or disintegrating. And next we have studied about the chemical weathering, that is a decomposition, the change in the composition of the rock. And finally the biological weathering, which is involving the plant, the human beings and the animal. The chemical and the biological weathering we will read in the next class, today we have only studied about physical weathering, where we have studied about block disintegration, granular disintegration, your exfoliation and frost action. Thank you, class.